back together for a second time in 1 week.
What's up? Like it feels like I just saw you guys a couple of days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah. But we're back at home.
We are.
We're at Alley's because great beer, great crowd, great everything. I don't think there's anything bad at Alley's. So we're here on Thursday night. Tonight's a pretty cool night because we got a lot of things going on.
So we're going to start off with talking to Nick Wangler about what's going on and the move he made, because he was Wednesday nights, now he's on Thursday nights.
On Thursday, so that's pretty cool.
All right, and we are joined by one Nick Wangler.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Good.
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well. It's been a minute.
It has. So this is kind of exciting. We're here on a Thursday night, and you're here. We like that.
Yeah, I'm happy for the, excited for the move to Thursdays from Wednesdays.
So it's because of Beer School. I kind of thought that Beer School and your show would kind of intertwine a little better, so to speak.
Sure. Well, we've done Wednesdays for the last, since I've been hosting the open stage. It's been about 5 years we've been on Wednesdays. That's been great and all, but we tend to get all musician audiences, which is great. Attentive listeners for our featured acts and our performers. We thought maybe moving to a Thursday when we have Beer School and there's already an audience in here, what better way to have a featured artist or some of these beginning artists that want to cut their teeth in front of an audience, have a real live audience to perform to outside of just their musician friends.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and that's, and I think this kind of an environment works better for the Pigs too, simply because we know how much we support local music.
Yeah.
We also support local beer and alleys and all that, so we get it all on the same night now.
Sure.
So that works out really well. Who's the featured artist tonight? I know there's a different one each week, but who's this big one, the first one for the grand opening event, so to speak?
Yeah, it's kind of like our grand opening.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah. We have Matt Monta coming all the way. He's on tour right now. He's doing a national tour, and he's coming all the way from Ohio. I believe his last event was in Kentucky, Knoxville, and he's on his way here now. Fantastic artist. We're not going to do the full band set, but we got the Matt Monta trio tonight.
Okay.
So it'll be Matt with his acoustic and a bass player and a drummer, and it should be a great show. I'm excited to see this artist.
Well, we're looking forward to it, man. And again, I know you got to go set up and get everything ready for the big night, but thanks for popping on the show with us, and we look forward to working with you through this event. Sounds fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you again.
You too, sir. All right. Well, Nick had to go get set up for the night, and now we are joined by the one of the managers here, Mel.
Hi.
Also of Red Remains, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Another one of our favorite local groups.
Yes.
Absolutely. Multi-talented.
Skills.
Singer, songwriter, bar manager, lots and lots of stuff.
We'll go with multi-dimensional. How's that?
Fabulous human in general. I like that one.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
well played.
Yeah.
Humble as well.
Of course. Absolutely. Always.
Allie's is probably excited for this new season of Beer School, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's Thursdays are going to be awesome. Just in general.
So we've got the Thursday lineup with Beer School, and then Nick's directly following it with a featured act, and then doing the open mic as well.
Yep.
It's going to be a lot of fun. That's a lot of stuff going on at one time.
Yes. It's all starting within like an hour and a half of each other. So you show up at like 6:30 or 7, you get to be a part of all the things.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's kind of getting crowded. Like we're starting to see a crowd forming already. People want to get here early for the Beer School, want to get here for the act, open mic. It's gonna be a good night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how they put it on Facebook too. They brought us in to do orientation and then school.
Totally appreciate
and then
it.
the after school activities. That was very very cool and classy how they did that on Facebook. I liked it.
Definitely.
Awesome. So who's tonight or can you tell us the brewery lineup for like the next few weeks? Is that possible?
I can. I think we have pretty much everything booked except for 1 week for this semester. Tonight is Fatheads Brewery.
Which is what I'm drinking right now.
Yes.
How is it?
I am also.
How is it?
Which ones do you guys have?
I have Trailhead.
Trailhead, and then we have the Headhunter, the 2 that are on draft, and then there's 3 that we brought in bottles.
Oh, okay.
For tonight, we usually do a minimum of 4 beers for Beer School. Usually try to do 5.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
So
I
we'll
dig
bring
that.
1 or 2 in
yeah.
on draft, and then the rest in bottles or cans, and sample them all out. And
Very nice.
so it's a lot of free beer.
Yeah, that's what
Beer
it's all
School,
about.
free beer. Be here.
What more can you ask for? Like, seriously, like.
Yeah.
if
You
that-
can bring your kids if you want. Like, we have people that, we're family friendly, so you get to come and drink free beer, and you can send your kids to the arcade to
Perfect.
not be near you.
And I want to say this as a parent, this is actually a pretty safe environment.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I'm not worried about bringing my 9-year-old and just letting him go.
Yeah. Oh, no.
He goes, he plays, he checks in, and it's fine. It's it's a very family-friendly environment, but also at the same time, it's the kind of environment where it can be family-friendly and you can still be an adult over on this side and have fun and drink beer and hang out with your friends. So it's kind of the best of both worlds if you want.
Yeah, I will say when my 12-year-old, when he was much younger, he wandered around while we were bowling. And it's funny, one of the staff members just like caught him and like, "Hey, buddy, are you lost?" I'm like, it was great. Like, it was like, it reminded me of like the security at Disney. It was like, everyone was looking out for each other.
You see a child without an adult.
Yeah, you see a child without an adult.
Yeah.
Or like, staff members were on it, man. It was great. So I'm like, I totally appreciate. That's why I dig this place. I live literally 5 minutes away. So yeah, you'll see me here, in incognito sometimes. I just,
I have a daughter that works here, so I'm here
all the time.
And we like her. We don't hold it against her that you're
That you're her dad.
Yeah, don't hold that against her.
Neither do we. We actually like her, but it just so
yes.
happens,
So who are the brewers? Let's talk about that.
Well, let's see. Let me
We know
pull up my
Fatheads
schedule here.
is tonight.
Fatheads is tonight, and it's 12-week semesters. So we've got every Thursday for 12 weeks. Next week is February 1st.
Yeah.
Is Three Wise Men.
Okay. Three Wise Men.
And let's see, the week after that is Victory Brewing.
Victory is out of Ohio as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the week after that, and there's a question mark on this one, it's penciled in, so it might not. We don't know. New Belgium.
Okay. Out of Michigan.
Mm-hmm. And then Too Deep.
Too Deep out of Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm. And then March 1st is still open. It is yet to be determined. March 8th is Evil Czech out of Mishawaka. South Bend area, yeah.
Makers of the Bigsby, one of our favorite show beers.
Bigsby.
Which we almost always have on tap here.
And the Evil Czech Monk, which is also another good beer from them.
Let's see, March 15th is Sam Adams.
Okay. National brand, nice.
Yeah, we do a mix and match. You don't have to be distributed. You could be just opened up, or you could be,
So how do you get a brewer from Sam Adams to come on to beer school? Or is it just a representative?
It is a brewery representative. It's either a salesperson or it's somebody that is part of the brand.
Somebody who's very knowledgeable about the product.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so it's not always necessarily a brewer.
No.
It could be just a brand representative.
Yeah, we actually very rarely have the actual brewer here. We've found out the hard way that most brewers are a little bit antisocial and are not very talkative. So you want those salespeople. They can answer those questions. They're a little more animated. It makes it a little bit more fun. No offense to any brewers out there.
Unless you get them to drink a couple. We
That's
have found out because we have to deal with the actual brewers and owners sometimes.
And that's what I was going to say is what we found out is we had to start homebrewing to learn the correct lingo to be able to speak on their language, to speak on their level.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly, we just have to feed them a little bit of beer and get them going.
Yeah.
And then they're okay.
Yeah.
But you're right. We have ran into brewers that are just like
and
pulling
not all
and pulling
of them,
and pulling.
But it's generally we get the salespeople. They're the ones who want to go out and are very energetic about the product and are really selling it.
And then we have Jerry, the owner from Bier Brewery, who's kind of a show whore. That's what we call him. He wants to be on the show like anytime we do a show.
He's actually never done one of our beer schools.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. Really? I don't even know if he's ever been here. Jerry, what's up with that?
Jerry's been here. He's been on our show here.
Well, he's been here, but I don't think he's ever been here and done a beer school during one because we do them every semester. Bier Brewery.
I would ask him, but he's a little mad at me right now because he still wants to do a show and I haven't scheduled one yet.
We have been kind of busy with the holidays and all, but
we'll get there. We'll get to
We'll kiss and make up.
Yeah. So we've got March 22nd is Sun King.
Okay.
The 29th is 4-Day Ray.
4-Day Ray, our good buddy Brian.
And Mitch.
Yes. We just did a show with them Tuesday.
April 5th is Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
Fabulous beers.
Where's Sweetwater?
They are somewhere.
Okay. So you stumped me, so now I don't feel bad. That was the only one I couldn't name where it was.
I know they've been around for a little bit, I think, but it's a new one to me as well. I just sampled their beers for the first time, I think last week or the week before.
It sounds familiar. I just can't place where they are.
Yeah. And then the last week, week 12, which is April 12th, is Bier Brewery.
Okay, Bier Brewery.
Yep.
Cool. That's a great lineup. That's a very different group of breweries.
Mm-hmm.
And you throw the one national brand. Well, Sam Adams is a national brand, but it's like
it's still considered a craft brewery.
It's like it's like the craft of the national brands.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that's something that we always want to do. Like we've had Miller Coors in before. I mean, we did one night where we did a blind taste testing between Bud, Coors, and Miller. And then had sampled a couple other lines, like Line and Kugel is distributed by Miller Coors, and
right.
So I mean, it's everybody. A lot of people, especially now, are So, well, I only like craft beer. And there's a lot of national brands that have really good beers. Yeah. And people shun them just because they're a national brand. And
Well, I would say you of all people know I can't really talk bad about Miller. There was a time in my life
where... You put away
where,
more Miller than most people ever do in their life.
I think you still sweat it out every now and then.
Yeah, that's pretty much how much of that I used to drink. By the 34 ounces. And many, many of them a night.
Yes.
In my younger years. I even named my kid Miller. His middle name's Miller.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You did that, didn't you?
I did.
Okay.
I was that guy.
Yeah,
You're that guy.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah, this is an exciting event. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we got invited out and try some Fathead beer and get to talk to some of the beer school regulars. And obviously, we don't know the beer school regulars, so when you see somebody you think might work for the show, you may want to point them over here and send them to us, and we'll get them on and talk to them.
Do you know Pedro? No? Never mind. That's all good. He gets around a lot. I just figured he might be here.
No.
All good. No worries.
I mean, we have a Pedro who works in the back. But he's about 17.
I might know him.
Okay.
All good. No worries.
Okay.
Cool.
What else? Is there anything else you want to talk about for the night?
We're just excited to have beer school back. We've been off for about 2 months. We do 12 weeks and then about 6 to 8 weeks off. And it was a busy day getting everything set up for the first week. So just between hooking up kegs and changing systems and doing all the stuff to get set up. And the staff walks in and the staff's like, "Oh, beer school's back, yes." Which they love the beer school, but they also love the money it gives them in their pocket.
Provides.
And I'm sure there's always so many new breweries popping up in those couple of weeks off. So
absolutely. Yeah. And one thing that I found out, this is our 6th semester doing this. Like even just 20 minutes ago, I had one of our beer school regulars come up to me and was like, "Hey, I was at this brewery. I was talking to him about beer school," and handed me the manager's card and was like, "I told him about you. He wants to do a beer school. Here's his card." And we found multiple breweries that we've either never heard of or have not had contact with that now we're getting these people. So we're constantly getting new breweries who have either heard about it or their distributor has heard about it and was like, "Hey, you really need to do this."
Oh, I'm sure we could hand you a few of those if you ever needed some.
Oh, yeah. If I ever need to fill one,
I got a couple off the top of my head, to be honest. I'm I'm ready to go. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
We especially like to book the local ones, Indianapolis, to promote the Indianapolis small business, the ones that are being distributed by companies or that they're still self-distributing. We really like to do the local ones, Indiana breweries.
Absolutely,
push
that's
those.
what we're all about.
But we also, we don't mind the Sam Adams, the Guinness, the New Belgium.
Sure.
All of those.
Well, people are very curious about those national brands because they don't get that one-on-one attention with a national brand.
Absolutely.
Unless they do an event like this.
Yeah. Well, in these beer school, it's not just, all right, here's the beer, try it, drink it. You're getting backstory on the brewery. You're getting information about the beers that you didn't know, like where the name come from or what hops are used in it or the malts. It's a lot more information than just here, drink my beer. Right. So it's literally beer school. You're learning. You're just also getting a slight buzz while you do it. So
right. I feel like we go to beer school every Tuesday when we go to a new brewery.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so before we let you go though, on a personal note, when and where is Red Remains playing again?
We are playing. Our next show is actually here again, March 3rd.
Okay.
At Alley's Ale House, and then we have a show in Columbus, Ohio, on April 28th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I know
isn't that your hometown area though?
Kind of. I lived there for a long time. I was born in Cincinnati, but I lived about a half hour north of Columbus for 7 or 8 years when I was a kid, and then we moved here. So I was probably 7 to 13 or 14. Lived near Columbus. My mom, family all lives in Columbus now. So
nice.
So yeah. So we've got a little bit of a crowd that'll be there. Some people rocking the Red Remains t-shirts.
So March 2nd. That's March 3rd. 3rd, Saturday night.
Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Saturday night at Alley's Ale House. Red Remains.
Yes.
Perfect.
And then if you're listening and you're in the Columbus area, it is Voodoo's in Columbus. If you'd like to show up.
We do have some Ohio listeners. We have listeners all over the place. So
yeah,
you never know. So all right, Mel. Well, thanks for jumping on the show with us, and we'll get some beer school regulars on here and
all right,
see what happens.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Mel. Thank you.
All right, and we have our first beer school guest on with us. How you doing, sir?
Very well. It's good to be back. It's been a long stay over the holidays, and we like the free beer,
Yeah,
so
beer.
Mark, is it
Free
correct?
Yeah, Mark.
Mark. So we hear you're a regular with Beer School. How long have you been doing this?
Well, this is the 6th semester, so I started the first day of the first semester.
Oh, nice.
So it's nice to have a hobby that overshadows your alcoholism, you know?
Well, yeah.
Definitely.
What are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm just going to school.
I'm going to school. Well, it's funny. They'll say, "Oh, really? Beer school? You go to beer school? Did you graduate?" Yep, got a diploma too.
There you go. Man, I wish they had that when I was younger. Man, would have gone to beer school
not
more.
Too much younger, right?
Oh, well, not too much younger, but still, That's why I wear a hat to hide my gray.
There you go.
No.
I can't hide mine.
Well, yeah, you got all over.
Yeah,
Mine's well hidden.
yeah. I'm laughing at all you guys.
I was about to say, I think Mark's got his beat, and Mark embraces it.
Absolutely. About 9 or 10 inch beard, all gray.
That's awesome.
Yep. I enjoy it. I figure, what the heck. Actually, when I was younger, I had a real dark beard and mustache, and the beard started getting real gray, so I said, oh, I don't want to look that old, So I shaved the beard off, and then the mustache started creeping up, and I looked in a picture, and all I had was that little mustache at the top. It was dark, and everything else was gray, so all in the pictures I looked like the Hitler mustache. I go, well, I'm shaving that thing off.
That's too awesome.
So
That's funny.
then I had, then you work, so you get some jobs, and you can't have beards in certain jobs. And they asked me if I wanted to work at home. Boom, came out like a fury.
So out of all the beer schools you've attended here, Santa, what was your favorite? What was Santa's favorite beer?
Well, some great breweries have come here. The Bier Brewery has been here a number of times. It's been really nice. I like it when they bring other than their normal beers, and that's what's really important. Anybody can go into a store and pick out the 3-5 major cans that they always have. Well, if you're a beer school regular, you've probably already had those.
Yep.
Bring me the ones, these off brews and so on, and I really like it when you get somebody who, and by the way, we've had brewers, we've had owners, we've had sales, we've had distributors, and they've all been great in the sense that if they talk more about it and are entertaining. Sometimes you get somebody, well, here's the next one, and they just give you like the name, and you got to drag questions out of them or something like that. But most of them are really, this is the kind of hops we've got in it, and they've got backstories about the brewery and stuff like that. So I have notebooks, and I take notes like mad. And, we get stickers and stuff like that. I'll go back and I take pictures, and I'll cut out the little pictures, who was who, and I've got stacks of writings on all the beer.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what's funny about this is you just described exactly to a T what our podcast is.
Yep.
Well, there you go.
We go brewery to brewery. The breweries invite us out. We go in. We try different beers. They give us their backstories. They tell us the history. They let us try some of the secret stash. That's pretty much what we do, and then we promote the hell out of them. That's kind of what we're about.
There you go.
Anything local, we do local beer, local spirits, local music, local food. So you literally just described what our show's all about. So
hey, pick me up.
Anybody coming to beer school, if you're interested in what Blind Pigs do, Beer School is definitely a snippet of exactly what we do every single week. So
it really is.
It's great that you can actually attest to the educational portion of coming to this beer school. It's not just free beer, even though that's a nice perk, but you get to learn where it comes from, why it is what it is, how the conception behind everything, and what hops and so on and so forth. And that's
absolutely, good. Absolutely. And not only do you get to try so many different kinds. You may not like it, but now you know why. In other words, when you go to a store and you're looking at the cooler and you're going, well, I wonder what that's like. I wonder what that. So you don't know. You can't taste a can. Now, in a lot of bars, they'll let you try a taste of the draft or whatever, which is very nice. Now you come to beer school, you start to understand all the different kinds. Like there's some great sours out there. And before I never had a sour. Well, I wasn't going to touch that. And to look at a lot of stouts and porters, I wasn't going to touch many of those. Well, as you can see right now, I got a stout in my hand. And I didn't realize originally when I started how many breweries were actually started up around just Indianapolis in itself.
Absolutely.
And a friend of mine, Mikey, we set out warmer weather. Set out and say, okay, we're going to try. Here's 3 breweries in a good location. Let's go over it. We'll do the flights of these, and we'll take notes on that too. It works out really well.
I definitely think you need to tune into our show.
Oh, I've seen your show.
Have you? Okay.
Yep.
Because I was going to say that's exactly what we do. We go out and we tell you exactly about the different brews and everything. So, and we love it. And Alley's is like our home base. So we're here when we're not at a brewery. We're here.
Right.
You know, we do different shows. Last week we were here with Quack Daddy Donuts, and we were doing a beer and donut pairing.
Wow.
It was interesting. It was interesting to say the least.
I like
really
chocolate and beer. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, because we found that a maple bacon donut was paired great with Dorian espresso stout.
Yes.
This is exactly what I'm drinking.
That's what I just finished, sir.
Yeah.
Well
Yes.
played.
Dorian's one of my favorites too. Scarlett Lane's a great
I love
place.
Her. I love her too.
Yes, Elise is awesome.
Yes. Well, she throws some great parties.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the Bazaar Christmas party, and it was pretty cool. They always do that little odd special stuff.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot of crazy stuff. It's fun. And, you know, instead of having a truck to drive the beer around, they put it in a hearse.
In a hearse. And did you see the new casket they have for where they pour their taps?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. They're just awesome, fun people. Absolutely. And I got to say, Santa is wearing a Star Wars Christmas shirt. So he's a Star Wars fan, and he's a craft beer fan. This guy, he belongs. He belongs with us right here.
Yeah, honestly.
You know, the only thing about watching your pod is the fact is I get really thirsty. You know, because I'm not there to taste it. You know?
Right? Exactly. But we do. Yeah, we try to tell people, and we're never rude to breweries. Sometimes there's beers that I don't personally like, but I'm not going to be rude about it because there's someone out there that probably does really enjoy it. So, you know, we try to be as PC as we can when it comes to rating beers on the air.
Right.
You know, it's not fair to say, ooh, this is a gross beer, because the guy next to me may think it's the best beer in the world.
Well, here's and I'm not quite sure, you guys, if you've got people who really like more of the stouts and the porters who don't like IPAs, and then you got somebody who is a real big IPA fan, and then you've got somebody, well, I like my Pilsners, I like, you know, and so you really have to sort of, you know, allow for that. If it, you know, I used to just drink Pilsners, you know, because, you know, when you grow up in the 60s and it was 18 to drink back then, that's pretty much all we had, except for when Bock beer came around, and that was one time a year they'd come. And because it was cheap, we'd buy it because we were young and buying the cheapest stuff.
Absolutely.
You grow up, and a lot of the people who don't go to the breweries, don't know the differences in beers and stuff like that, are still drinking, and it's fine. They're still drinking the Bud, the Miller, you know, because that's what they drink.
And we try to help them on our show. We try to help those people learn about craft in the nicest way possible. So we'll take them and we'll push them towards a cream ale or a lighter craft beer and say, this is the taste you're looking for. This is the taste you're used to, I should say.
Right.
Then they get that and they realize, ooh, this is actually a little better than what I'm drinking. So if this is that good, what's the next step for me?
Right.
And then we introduce them to a little bit of hops, you know, and then we kind of work them into the darks and the English ales and some of the things that are the IPAs that are going to be a little bit more developed palate kind of situations.
Yes.
Because if you try to take somebody who's a Miller Lite drinker and you throw a heavy IPA on them or a heavy stout on them right away, you're going to turn them off in the craft beer scene.
They won't. The word IPA will deter them from anything. So, yeah, you have to build them into it.
5 years ago, I drank Miller Lite. And I only drank Miller Lite, period.
I was a Rolling Rock guy.
So, you know, then the world of craft beer opened up and my palate has changed.
Right.
And I'm starting to learn to appreciate a lot of different styles.
Well, you know, and it's not necessarily for everybody, but you tend to, as a child, you like the sweets. And as you get older, men sort of lean towards the more bitters, and the women continue to like sweets. Some of them like the bitters, and some guys like sweets, but you tend to like them more. Well, when you only drink one style of beer, you don't know that your tastes have changed. You don't know that, you know, you find it in other foods. Find it in your beer.
Right.
Find what you like, try. And this is why I love beer school. Alley's has they've been so gracious. It's a fun place to be. And, I mean, okay, you get 4 or 5 tastes of different beers from different, again, you may not like 3, you may not like 1, you may not like any of them at all. But you're starting to, and this is why I write it down. When I go shopping, because I go shopping and I take a grocery cart when I go for beer. And I load up based on the ones that, hey, I like this. Oh, no, I've had that. You know what? I didn't like it. I'm sure Griswold over here doesn't remember every beer either.
Oh, hell no. Not even close.
Our motto oftentimes is we drink the bad beer, so you don't have to.
There you go. I like that one.
Anyway, well, Mark, we appreciate you coming on the show, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy beer school
Thanks a lot,
tonight.
Mark.
And
Yourself a good one, brother.
we'll see you.
We're back. We did a little walking around, and since it's beer school going around, we came upon 2 lovely ladies, and we asked them for about half an hour. We tried to convince them to come on the show to see if we could talk a little bit about their beer school experience. How you doing, ladies? Want to introduce yourselves?
My name's Laura.
Hi, Laura. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you very much.
My name's Cheryl.
Cheryl.
My
how's it
partner
going?
in crime.
Partner in crime. Ah.
Yep, been here since day one.
Very nice.
Beer school day 1?
Yep.
Day 1.
Wow, that's awesome. So we're going on, this is the 6th semester, I was told?
Yes, we've graduated 5 times.
Wow.
So they've been here as long as Mark. Mark was our first guest, and he had been here since day 1 as well.
You probably know Mark, right?
We
Santa?
do know Mark.
Oh, awesome. So what do you guys think of beer school?
We love beer school.
What do
That's
you-
why we have perfect attendance.
Now, do you love beer school because of the free beer or because of the educational aspect?
Both.
A
But-
and B.
A and B. You know
Yes.
what? C, all of the above.
You got it.
Awesome. What are you guys drinking tonight?
I'm trying the new IPA from the people that are coming tonight. Who are they? I forget.
From Ohio.
They're from Ohio.
Fatheads
Fatheads
from Ohio.
IPA.
Fatheads from
IPA.
Ohio.
Nice.
Yes.
I have learned to like IPA.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome. What do you think of the Fatheads?
Bad.
It's not bad?
Not my favorite, but not bad.
What is your favorite, if I may ask?
I do love Space Dust, and I do, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
I'm an IPA fan, so I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of Space Dust, Zombie Dust,
Yep.
you know, Quaff on, Hair Triggers, things like that. Yeah.
Ditto.
definitely. How about you, Cheryl?
And I do not like IPAs.
Oh, okay.
I like the sweeter beers, the lighter beers.
By chance, have you had any meads?
Meads?
Meads.
No, I have not.
We had a little podcast a while back with a New Day.
New Day Craft Meadery.
New Day Craft Meadery down in Fountain Square. Awesome place.
We get to drink with this job?
Yes.
All we do is drink with this job.
Yeah.
Sign us
That's
up.
what we need to do.
I know, right? People actually have us come out, and then they just feed us free beer. It's amazing. And then we get to talk about it.
How did you
It's
get
like
this
what
gig?
we do is like beer school every single week of the year. And then we go to festivals, and they have us come out to festivals, and we just drink all the beer at the festivals and talk about it. It's a lot of fun.
We're in the wrong profession.
Now, I'm totally upset that my guidance counselor didn't tell me about this. I had to find this out on my own. But still, I'm good to go. But yeah, it's really what we do. Now, back to New Day. We went there. We tried their mead. It is amazing stuff. We were kind of skeptical because it's not really beer. It does have hops because hops is a flower.
Correct.
So
Not a grain.
But the process is a little bit more sugar based, more honey based. Amazing stuff. So I totally suggest when you're not at beer school, try New Day down at Fountain Square. Take a trip. Wednesdays, if I'm not mistaken, they have a $10 pint and a 10-minute massage. Combining
that
two of the
down.
best things in the world, a
Sign
massage
it
and some brew. Like that's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, but if you like the sweeter stuff, you would love mead.
Okay. gotta
Mead is
try it.
awesome. What else can you tell us about beer schools? What attracted you to beer school? Were you craft beer drinkers before beer school happened, or did beer school make you into craft beer drinkers?
I love going to breweries and doing tastings. I always get a flight so I
Mm-hmm.
can try many.
Sure.
So
Honestly, we saw the flyer in the bathroom, and we needed a hobby because our kids are all off at school now. So
Right.
that's kind of where we are.
Very
And
cool.
We've stuck with it.
So did you drink craft beer before beer school, though?
I did.
You did?
Not much.
Not much.
A
Okay.
little bit.
So beer school helped you
It
develop your
did.
palate into the craft beer scene.
Yes.
Excellent. That is awesome. So
And now we're beer snobs.
yeah. Well, 5 years ago, I was a Miller Lite drinker and only drank Miller Lite, and now I run a show all about craft beer, craft spirits, mead, anything to do with alcohol, food, or entertainment, really.
Yeah,
Local.
mostly craft and, unique to Indiana. Not just Indiana, but we've, like last week, we were with Quack Daddy Donuts in Anderson.
Pendleton.
That's what I said, and Pendleton. That's okay. The guy on the show didn't know his address either, so it's all good.
We did the show here at Alley's, and we paired their donuts with beers, and it was pretty enlightening.
It was. We found out that that stouts really go good with some donuts.
Absolutely.
Especially the maple bacon donuts.
Right.
Ooh,
Yes.
that would be
So
good.
that's exactly what we do. So we pretty much do Beer School as an every week event. And then if you listen to the show, you get to hear Beer School every week. We release new shows every Fridays. If you guys really like Beer School, you'll love the podcast. Tune in. You guys will be on it. We'll release the show here probably in about Wednesday, actually. This is a special release show. Awesome. Do you guys have anything else you want to tell us about Beer School? Well,
We love it.
What's been your favorite brewer so far? Do you have a favorite brewer so far? I know so many beer schools.
Gosh, what is the one downtown that I love? I can't think of the name of it. I love every single one of their beers. Oh, Center Point.
Centerpoint.
Oh, very good.
Love
Very
it.
nice.
I love every one of their beers. We went and got double flights.
Even their
and got all of
IPAs?
them. I actually did like it.
I
yeah.
like
Nice.
their IPAs.
I did.
Well
I did like
played,
it.
Centerpoint. That's awesome.
Exactly. How about you? Do you have a favorite one?
No, I do like Quaff on.
Quaff on?
Quaff
I
on.
do. That's one of them. I don't know that it's my favorite. I mean, I think I have found a favorite beer within each one. So
Common Necessity, Hazelnut Stout.
I do like that.
Yes, very good beer from Quaff on.
6 Foot Blonde,
6
not
Foot
bad.
Blonde.
6 Foot
Okay. Yep. Busted Knuckle.
Yep. Oh, I do like that one.
Yeah. See, a lot of good beer coming out of Quaff on as well. So, all right, ladies. Well, I know Beer School's getting ready to start, so we won't keep you. But thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks
All
for
right.
asking.
Enjoy
Thank you.
tonight. All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
We have 2 new guests on the show right now. So we've talked to a couple people that have been to every beer school, right? So I decided it was time to get the Beer School virgins on the show tonight and see why they're here. Why are they here for Beer School?
Apparently,
They've never been.
they're here to pop their cherry.
Right, exactly. So, ladies, welcome. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Hello, my name is Peyton.
There you go.
Hi, my name's Nikki.
There you go. All right. What brought you to Beer School tonight, ladies?
Beer.
Beer.
Yeah.
All right. Beer. Are you guys craft beer drinkers?
I don't know about the craft part, but I'm a beer drinker.
Beer drinkers. So have you guys had craft beer before?
I don't know.
You don't know?
What's craft beer?
Anything other than Bud Light or Miller or,
Yeah, I've had other beers.
What beer, when you go to a bar, what do you normally order?
Whatever sounds the best.
What kind of beer do you normally drink?
I normally don't drink like a certain thing. I just kind of, I don't know.
Go with the flow?
Yeah,
Drink whatever's there?
Basically.
Okay. All right. Nikki?
I normally do shots at the bar, but I've done beer in Germany.
Nice. See? Now there we go. So what kind of shots do you take at the bar?
Tequila.
Tequila. I drink beer in Germany and I take tequila shots. Oh, wait a minute. Something doesn't...
Doesn't add up.
Yeah, doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up. No.
You know Pedro?
do you know Pedro?
No, it's fine.
It's all right. We're still looking for Pedro. We'll find him someday. What brought you to beer school then besides just beer? Are you interested in learning about beer?
Yes, I am.
Or is
Okay.
it just the free beer?
I'm not interested in learning about it. I don't really care.
You're here for the free beer.
Yes.
Okay. No, that's a fair,
Honest.
An honest answer.
that's an honest, fair
awesome.
answer. No, I like that.
That's great.
I'm just here for the free beer.
I can appreciate that.
Exactly.
Totally.
So you are, Nikki, interested in learning about the beer?
Yes.
Awesome. Tonight's brewery is Fatheads. Do you have any idea where they're from or who they are?
No clue.
Okay. Well, they're from Ohio, and they're putting out some good beer.
They are.
Yeah, we already had the
Trailhead.
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 It was very good. Yes, I'm gonna have to try the Head Hunter. They must have a fascination with using head in every beer. Probably because they're fatheads, but you know.
Let's hope that that's the point.
Yeah, exactly. All right, ladies. Well, we don't want to hold you up. We just wanted to see what brought 2 fresh new people to beer school tonight. So you guys can go ahead and go back to your table and enjoy your evening. All right.
All right.
Enjoy your free beer.
Thanks for
Thank
jumping
you.
on with us.
So we're back, and we're gonna have a special guest with us, and I'm gonna address him as Supreme Commander because if I don't, I feel something bad is gonna happen to me.
All righty.
Mr. Matt Monta.
I'm not as ruthless as my Facebook profile might make me out to be. I'm a nice guy, I promise you.
Awesome. How you doing, sir?
I'm very good. We just, the fellas and I just came in from Knoxville, Tennessee. We're on tour. We went up to Chicago, St. Louis, down to Nashville, Knoxville. We're here, and then in Lafayette, Indiana tomorrow.
Awesome.
So we're a little weird from the road, but we're feeling good because we get to play some music tonight.
So,
yeah.
what kind of music do you play?
We do like rock, blues, Americana, Heartland rock. People have described it from Springsteen to Lyle Lovett. So
Okay.
that's kind of what, if you like that kind of stuff, then you'll probably dig what we do.
Very cool. So how long have you guys been a band?
Well, the guys that are with me tonight it's a trio. So I'm with the drummer and then a bass player who was able to go on the road with us. But the band itself, the Haymakers, we've been together for coming on 5 years now.
Nice.
Yeah, so we've put out a full length together and then an EP, and then we're about to release a new full length album that we just released a single for this past Monday.
And that's the single we talked about. We're going to put that on the show Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
What's the name of that single?
Cool.
It's called I Won't Be Scared.
I Won't Be Scared.
Yes.
Nice. Little backstory on that?
Well, it's about facing head-on uncertainty and confusion, which I think we're in no short supply of these days.
True.
And it's about standing up to that and not hiding from it. Not hiding from who you are, not hiding from doing what's right.
Very interesting that you bring that up. I just had a conversation with a buddy of mine who we were kind of talking about kind of the state of the union and where we at as a whole, and where I kind of came out like, you know what, like I need to come out of my shell a little bit, because I've kind of I think I've been too much getting into my own head and not being able to come out, and I think that's just it's almost a product of my environment, because I see a lot of people like that, and I'm like, you know what, I kind of either need a new set of friends or something, you know.
Yeah, and it's tough. There's so much stuff going on. There's so many sources of information, to like Facebook, Twitter, you name it. I mean, there's 10 TVs on in this room right now, and it's easy to get overwhelmed. And I found myself too in the winter months here getting inside myself and going, I don't want to pay attention. And I have to sort of sing my song to myself to remind me to be a part of it, to be present, to be out there fighting the good fight.
That's awesome. I think it's a good time coming for that song. So that's awesome. We're really looking forward to hearing that.
Great, thank you.
So you're an all original band then?
Yes. So we're going to do all originals tonight.
Perfect.
Yep.
That's what we like to hear. We like the local, the original, the band that you can connect with. You know, that's what we really are all about. You know, the local breweries, the local spirits, the local restaurant, the local bands. You know, those people that are part of the community, that are, you know, people just like us that we just talk to and we interact with. And I think it makes people feel like they have a much bigger connection to the music.
Absolutely.
You know, when they get to hear somebody or see somebody that's just, you know, from the neighborhood kind of a person, you know, not necessarily this neighborhood, but a neighborhood.
Right.
You know, it gives them that connection and that feel. So that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fun thing is, as I've been out on the road, it's like there's a natural marriage between craft brewing and music. It's it's an art form, and it's just a different art form. It's a different construction. But I found that people who appreciate good beer also appreciate good music. So we're happy to be here tonight with all of these craft beer drinkers.
Is this your first time to Alley's?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yeah, Alley's is a huge supporter of local. They're locally owned and operated.
Okay.
Their chef is amazing, Chef Rod. Phenomenal guy. Makes a lot of great local cuisine. They partner with all the Indiana breweries. They do all local music. This is an amazing venue. It's attached to the bowling alley, which so sometimes people are like, oh, a bar at a bowling alley. But if you haven't been in here, you don't understand that you wouldn't even know there was a bowling alley world out there if you didn't walk that way.
Right, it's not like in Crazy Heart where Jeff Bridges is like playing in the behind the pool table.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Honestly, everyone we've told, we played at a bowling alley called Maple Hall. It's like a downstairs bowling alley, upstairs cocktail lounge. And we told people we're playing there and we're playing at a bowling alley in Indianapolis. And every reaction we got was, "That's awesome! We want to play a bowling alley too."
Yeah.
So it's in vogue right now, and we're glad to be a part of that rising trend.
Yeah, and they have an awesome stage here for it. I mean, this is a nice setup.
Oh, absolutely.
I've been in a lot of bars, a lot of small bars, a lot of big bars. They have one of the best stages for live music that I've seen. You know, that you can tell that they are wanting live music to play here.
Yes.
It's not like they just, put something up on stilts and made a makeshift stage and said, there you go.
Absolutely.
Jump up there.
Yeah, or just, hey, we push this couch aside.
Right, exactly.
Plug in and we'll leave you there. It's a big stage. It's Nick has a real pro setup here, and we're pretty psyched to be plugging into that and making a little bit of noise for you all tonight.
Absolutely. Nick's a good friend of the show, and we support Nick all the way. He supports us. So we did a charity event here in December, and Nick ran all the sound and did all the music for us, and then we raised some money for some local families. It was a great event. So,
wonderful. That's awesome.
And obviously Alley's was involved in that too. So if somebody wants to find you or listen to your music, we're gonna help you release that first single on Wednesday.
Cool.
But where else can we go to find your actual albums, your music? Where can we download you at, find you, listen to you?
You can go to my website at mattmonta.com, mattmonta.com, and then you can find me on Facebook. I update Instagram when I'm on the road, when my cat does cute stuff, and then Twitter very, very rarely. But I'm out there, mattmonta.com. All the albums, lyrics, all kinds of stuff is on that website.
That sounds a lot like us. We're kind of Instagram whores. We do a little bit on Facebook, and then we have a Twitter.
Everyone has to have a Twitter. You don't necessarily have to use it, right?
We don't use it very often.
Yeah, we don't. Like, I don't even use my own. I think I forgot my login. I use the pigs more than anything else. But going back to the craft beer and the music scene, like you're into, I think there's a certain intimacy that has gotten lost with music especially, and I can totally appreciate an artist like yourself. I haven't heard your music, but I'm looking forward to it just because I mean, I think I'm more of an appreciation. I appreciate a person, which in turn I can definitely look into their music or their project a little bit more. Yeah. Whereas as if I hear their project and then I find out later that the guy's an ass or something, like it kind of turns you off.
Sure.
You know, but Nick was talking to us earlier. He was like saying, yeah, this guy seems like a great guy. He looks awesome. We're looking forward to it. He had heard your music before.
Yeah.
He had heard some of your tunes. He's like, stuff's great. I'm like, cool. Like, we're totally looking forward to it, which is actually why we're here. You know, because we usually come here on Tuesday nights where we're not at breweries. Mm-hmm. And this is our first Thursday here, I think, for...
Probably, well, since not this... No, since the charity event. It was
the charity event. Yeah. So we're totally looking forward to the show, and we're really glad you're here. And to be able just to listen and to kind of connect on a musical level, because I think that's I mean, I'm an artist myself. I do some music on the side.
Sure.
But I think that's like your biggest thing. It doesn't matter who's here or how many people are not here. You do a show for the people who showed up.
Absolutely.
And that's a kind of key thing.
I mean, that's the fun part about going out and playing different venues and going to other states, and is meeting all the different people. And, you know, we're sharing our story musically, and we're hoping that the people who hear it, it connects with them, and their story relates somehow in some way that is meaningful to them.
All right, well, we know you have a lot of setup to do because you're getting ready for a show.
Yeah, the drummer's taking care of it.
So
I don't set up drums. I don't know, but no, yeah, we kind of got to get ready going here.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you so much for stopping by on the show. We look forward to releasing that single on Wednesday with the show, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
January 25th, we're here at Beer School at Alley's Ale House, our home away from home. And we have Patrick from Fatheads. How's it going, buddy?
Good. How are you, brother?
Doing great. Had a little bit of your beer earlier. Totally digging it, man. Totally digging it.
Thank you.
What are you guys about, man? Like, where are you guys from? What are you guys up to?
Actually, we were originated in Pittsburgh back in 1992 as a saloon called Fathead Saloon.
Nice.
Just a straight restaurant. Craft beer only.
Okay.
The guy's named Glenn that started it. We started as a saloon, and back in, I think, 06, 07, Glenn went to school with a guy named Matt, our head brewer. Matt came to him back in 07 and said, let's start a brewery together in Cleveland. Call it Aviation Ale Works, because it's right next to the airport in Cleveland.
Very cool.
Glenn was like, well, let's start a brewery because you make fantastic beer. I've had it, it's great. But let's call it Fatheads because we already have the brand behind it. The logos, the menu. The difference between us and a lot of other upstart craft breweries is we started as a restaurant. We have that menu behind us. So when we go to a new market, we have the restaurant and the menu behind us. Not only the beer, but the restaurant and the food as well.
Okay.
So we have a brew pub in Cleveland with a full-scale restaurant, the brewery in Cleveland. We're opening one in Canton very soon. And actually we had one in Portland, Oregon for the last 3 years, but now we're about to close that one. It's a franchise restaurant. So the guys that own the franchise wanted to go another direction.
Understood.
Yeah, we've the Headhunter, the IPA. I don't know if you had that one earlier.
Yep.
That's actually the first beer that Matt made, the head brewer, and he sent it out to California to the West Coast IPA Fest. Won that award in 07 and 08. It's the only beer not made in California that won that award. We won it twice.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Damn.
So that he sent a 6-barrel out there in California. He took it in his suitcase on the plane. He didn't ship it.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He said, if we're going to do it, we'll do it right. So he packed it up himself, put it in there, and went out there with it. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
Thank you.
So is Fatheads commercially available in Indiana then?
It is.
Okay.
Most Kroger's. So I have 3 core beers. You had 3 of them tonight. The Bumbleberry, Honey Blueberry Ale.
We didn't get to try that one.
Sunshine. You got to try that one.
Okay.
It's very crisp, very refreshing. Sunshine Daydream, named after a Grateful Dead song. My Matt's a big deadhead.
Nice.
It's a session IPA, Sunshine Daydream. And then Headhunter's our staple beer.
Okay.
That's the big IPA, 87 IBUs, 7.5% alcohol. It's available most Kroger's and all the big red liquors around Indianapolis.
Perfect.
Indy. Yeah, absolutely.
And your fourth was Trail?
I had Trailhead, Pale Ale.
Trailhead, perfect.
And that he made that, and we donate a lot of the money, proceeds from that, to the metro parks in Cleveland to keep the mountain bike trails up and running.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's really big into that. Matt is too.
It's funny you guys mentioned that. I actually saw a documentary where it showcased a lot of the Ohio trails. I did not know Ohio was so big.
Huge.
With a lot of that, I guess, just preserving some of the natural aspects of the trails, and then also some other parks that have been built to accommodate, because there's so many different types.
Yeah.
Whether it's just, from like hardcore, almost extreme bicyclist type things, but just people who just like to ride.
Absolutely.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, he's really involved in that. So we're actually in the middle of building a new brewery right now.
Oh, okay.
We're going from 30,000 barrels output to 60,000. So April, May, June, we'll start seeing more beer over here in Indiana, more of my specialty stuff, more of my one-off stuff.
Okay.
Like next month, I don't know if you guys heard me talk, and our huge Imperial IPA, we release that once a year. It's called Hop Juju.
Hop Juju, okay.
Hop Juju, and it's won the GABF Gold Medal Award 3 out of the last 4 years.
Really?
Out in Denver, yeah. Stuff's fantastic.
I heard you say you're going to be at Winterfest, right?
I will not be there. My beer will be there.
The beer will be there, but you will not be there.
I will not be there. It's huge weekend coming up for us.
Very cool.
Absolutely. And I'm based out of Cincinnati.
Are you really?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm a Cincinnati fan. It's awful. My company's
we
based
will not hold that against you.
My company's based in Pittsburgh and raised in Cleveland. I'm surprised I don't have an office in Baltimore to round it out the whole thing.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Don't forget about it.
Now, you guys had the Portland, Oregon thing. Now, are you guys still looking at franchising opportunities?
I believe so. I don't. I'm a low man on the totem pole, so I think we've looked at Charlotte, North Carolina. Yep, that's, I think, if we go anywhere, I think that's where we're going to go.
I was there last year for a conference, and I was surprised by the craft beer scene down there.
It's huge.
And I do a little bit of traveling with my day job and stuff, and I try to hit up every craft beer brewery that I can. But when we went to Charlotte, I couldn't tap them all, and I was there for a week.
It's amazing.
I'm like, I try to do 3 or 4 a day, and I got bombarded and boozed up pretty darn good. The wife was like having to drag me out by the third one. But still, yeah, that's cool, man.
The craft beer boom in the last 10 years. Now you can go, when you go on a trip, on a vacation, you can base it around going to brewery. Yeah. Like you said, North Carolina, Charlotte, Asheville. Yeah. I mean, what they're doing there is amazing stuff. The boom has been fantastic. Absolutely. Especially for Indianapolis here, Indiana.
Yeah.
I mean, the local breweries you guys have here, forget about it. It's fantastic to, now I'm drawing a blank. The big one, three Sun King. Sun King. Sorry. Three Floyd, Sun King, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in the beer industry. I have no idea what the breweries are here.
So back home, like here in Indy, the breweries are a very close-knit group of people.
Yes.
They help each other out. They
Absolutely.
do collaborations. They're not backstabbing or trying to climb all over each other. They want everybody to coexist and succeed. Is that very similar to how it is for you at home?
Craft beer in general, I think.
Okay.
That's the mentality of all of them. I've made beer, or not me. We've made beers with Founders, Mad Tree out of Cincinnati, Jack Yo's out of Athens. We've made, and that's everybody's on the same team. That's what's great. Everybody supports everybody. There's it's not like those. I'm not going to mention the 3 big macro houses.
Yeah, right.
They're all cutthroat. Those guys are all against each other all the time. You can see it in the ads and everything on TV, right? Everybody in the craft beer world, fantastic.
And it's funny that you mentioned that. We were talking to Matt Monta, who you can hear in the background, and we're talking about the intimacy in him going out to smaller venues and just being one with the crowd.
Yep.
Same thing with the craft scene, Like I totally love this beer school atmosphere where you guys can come out and you can give some backstory, you can give some education, different types of hops, the whole process, like the inspiration, like your guy being a deadhead.
Right.
That's so cool to be able to draw that information and then be able to relate that later down the road. Be like, hey, look, I tried this beer, Fatheads, Guy's a Deadhead, check this out. And that's one thing that we love. That's entirely what our podcast is about.
Doing something like this podcast and this beer school, getting everybody involved is exactly what it's all about. like you said, everybody's on the same page. Everybody's on the same team. Why not? The beer's there. Let's drink it. Let's have fun. Let's enjoy it. Let's make some new stuff together. Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's totally cool.
And we're a podcast. So in order to be able to talk to the brewers, we realized a long time ago we had to start home brewing.
Right.
So we actually have some really cool breweries in town that'll take our recipes that we homebrewed and they'll brew them production-wise, and then they'll put our name on them because they get the sales for it. We get the publicity for it, and it's a great thing, you know? So people come in, they'll be like, oh, I'll take the Blind Pig Sui Saison is the big one we had. And people were, and they're like, what the hell is Blind Pig? What is that? And then they talk about us.
So you tell a story.
Exactly
right. You tell them how it got started, why you're doing it.
Yep.
That brings everything together. Like you said, the Dead songs.
Yeah.
People, how do I know that name? Well, it's the Dead song I heard 1975 or whatever. You know what I mean? So, exactly right. I love this industry. I love this industry. I love the people in this industry.
It's so much of a brotherhood.
Yes.
When we did our charity event, I was going around picking up the donations. I walked into Broad Ripple Brew Pub, and there sits the brewer the brewer from Flat 12, and then the assistant brewer from Flat 12. And I'm like, Jordan, you're going to have a beer? I'm like, well, shit, I can't say no to like the freaking $1 million quartet of brewers. So yeah,
exactly.
You know, so I sit down and I have a beer with those guys. But it's a good feeling, you know. They know who I am. I know who they are. We get to sit there. We get to talk beer and just have a good time with it. You know, I can't go into a bar, have a Miller Lite, and expect that, you know, Frederick Miller's long descendant is going to come up and talk to me about the beer. It's not going to happen.
How it came to fruition, right.
You know, it's not going to happen. So
that's the biggest thing, I think. One of the biggest things about craft beer is the story behind where the brewery came from, why it came to fruition. I'm sure the story's here in all the local breweries. There's something.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I just did. Tell a story about my brewery, where it came from, why it came from.
Yes.
So,
and that's what we get. We hear the best stories.
Yes.
We get to taste the best beers. And when you hear the stories and you go into these places and you see these people, they're dedicated, they're working so hard.
Yep.
Their blood, sweat, their tears are in the beer. Even if the beer isn't the best beer you've ever had, you know how hard somebody worked to make that beer. It makes it taste all that much better.
Yep.
And that's one of the big things about craft beer, you know?
Exactly
People
right.
put their heart and soul into it. So you can, even if it's not my style of beer, I would never dog it.
Right.
I would say, you know what? This isn't quite my style, but there's somebody out there who probably says, shit, I'm out. I got to go get more of that.
Well, like tonight, you know, with the 4 or 5 different beers I had on tonight, I mean, 3 of them were essentially hoppy beers, 1 Belgian and 1 honey blueberry ale. I get the most feedback from that honey blueberry ale. So how that came to fruition was we needed a fruit beer. And guess what? That's the #1 beer in our portfolio right now, volume-wise.
Yeah, fruit beers are coming up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, there's some people that do kind of, I guess I call it the fake fruit beer, where they just take their staple beer and throw it through a Randall.
Yep.
But then
grapefruit it.
Yep. But then there's people that actually take time and develop the hop profile with the fruit profile, and they make something that actually is balanced and tastes good.
Agreed.
You know, anybody can take a Miller Lite and string it through a big tube of strawberries and say, I have a strawberry beer, right? I mean, you can do that.
I have a strawberry lager right here.
Yeah, you can do that. But all you're going to have is a sweet strawberry tasting mess.
Yes, true.
You know, it's not going to be the different flavor profiles that hit the palate in different ways, and you know, it's not going to have the right mouthfeel and this and that.
Exactly right.
It's just going to be a really sweet strawberry flavored light beer.
You know, one thing I love about the macro brews, though, the Miller, the Coors, and the Bud, it's consistency. It is the same every time. That's an art in itself. My goodness gracious.
Now that you have to give them credit for. Right. Absolutely.
Especially in the mass that it's done on. It's such a large scale.
The breweries they have, not just here, but overseas, and every time it's the same.
Tastes the same every
time. And, you know, some of these smaller craft, you know, if it comes out wrong, you got to dump it, right?
Now we
same every time.
Or sour it.
Yeah. I was going to say, we've been to enough craft brews that we can tell when it's usually not a huge difference, but there's a slight variation in flavors from beer to beer.
Right.
It happens a lot in the craft beer world.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, God, yeah. It does. But, no doubt about it.
I mean, to me, it's not a bad thing, though, you know? And there's some people that have played off that. Like Scarlett Lane, for example, they do a different stout. Every time they brew it, it's a different, like, sub-stout. Like, it's a espresso stout, a coconut stout, a milk stout. What's the other big one they do? The Oatmeal stout.
Oatmeal.
So it's so they do a variation of it every time.
Right.
And I think that partly that kind of hides that that it's not going to be 100% exact every time. You know what I mean? That's a brilliant way to take care of it.
If all the craft breweries did that, were that consistent, there wouldn't be craft beer anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
That's part of the appeal of craft.
Exactly right. Like, this batch of Headhunter I had a month ago, bottled on November or whatever, and this one I had here bottled on December or whatever. It's a difference.
Yes.
Absolutely a difference. No doubt about it.
So that
the uniqueness of that, that's key.
So that Saison that they put on for us over there that they production brewed, we tried that, 6 times at home?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like this.
Right.
But it was definitely like this.
You could tell.
Like, you could tell the difference between batches. You'd be like, no, that
and
was...
we could tell, like, we're in the process, we kind of skewed. Like,
right.
We did this too soon, or it wasn't boiled this right, we didn't cool it off fast enough.
Exactly.
Because when you're using something like hops, 15 minutes boiling the hop versus 17 minutes of boiling that hop doesn't sound like much, but it can be a major difference. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the art.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially when you get bigger. We're building that new brewery, doubling in size. I'm really interested to see how Matt and Glenn handle this transition and how smoothly it goes. Because there are a lot of breweries, some breweries, I shouldn't say a lot, when they do grow and they grow too big, trying to dial that in, that new brewery is, I hope that doesn't happen with us. That's another art form. That's part, piece of this whole thing.
But again, it's part of the appeal of the craft scene.
Exactly.
I've never been offended when I grabbed a beer from a craft brewery and then had another batch 4 months later, and I'm like, just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I was never like, oh my God, they fucked up.
Right.
I've never said that. They're always constantly trying to improve, and I think that's the other thing with craft beers.
Yep.
They release a batch and they go, I think just a hair more Chinook would give it that little bit of edge it didn't have on that last batch. So you taste it and you go, this tastes a little hoppier than it did last time. Well, you don't know that the brewer decided to put just a hair more in there because they thought it was missing that.
Right.
But sometimes that's why you get that little bit of variation difference too.
Yep.
Because it was brewer's choice.
It goes to show that they're also listening to their audience. They're like, hey, you know what? That's productive feedback, and they're actually taking it and utilizing it. They're not being like, oh, well, screw you. We're going to keep it like this, because it's easy and we know how to do it.
Right.
We're like, no, okay, you know what? We have the masses saying, let's try this. I'm like, why not? It's not so much perfecting. It's just something new. I think just like with music, a song's never really done because you can go back 1,000 times. I'm like, man, I wish I would have done this, or this. I think it's the same thing with beer. I'm like, we could have tried this, or this, but why not? We'll keep trying it. I think the diversity. But Pat, wanted to say thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you coming to Alley's, our second home, and doing our beer school this week, and totally appreciate it. We look forward to hearing new things from you guys and that expansion. Totally look forward.
Gentlemen, thank you.
Enjoy
the weekend.
So if we're ever out there, we're gonna come hit up Fatheads and
look me up.
Maybe we'll do a show. We'll do a show with you guys out at the brewery.
Right, new brewery in a couple 6 months or a couple 3 months.
Yes,
let's do it.
We'll keep in contact.
I'll leave my card here.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Thanks,
you, sir.
Guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank
Cheers.
you. Adios, Pedro.
Good night, Pedro.
Stones don't fathers have been buried.